versus Big Ben. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Phillip Rivers. Why? Because I'm going to go with their offensive line, and they're going to be able to protect him better than what Pittsburgh has been protecting Big Ben, and Big Ben has been a little bit off. If Phillip has had his ups and downs this year, but the guy on your screen right there, T.Y. Hilton, is a dynamite player. They've got some young guys on the perimeter to go along with him. I really like their rushing attack and how balanced they can be with Hines and my boy Jonathan Taylor. So I'm going to go with the Colts and Phillip Rivers in this one.
I like it. Neek, you're next. Aaron Donald versus Russell Wilson. Who you got?
Yeah, I think I got to go with Aaron Donald right now. Russell Wilson is playing a lot better. He's kind of returned to early season. Let Russ cook, even though they aren't throwing the ball nearly as much. But Aaron Donald, he does not miss a game. Like, he shows up every week. He's like Patrick Mahomes on the defensive side of the ball. He never has a bad game. I suspect that he's going to have an impact, and the Rams win again.
Next up is D. Wood. We got Derrick Henry against Aaron Rodgers. Who you got?
Greeny, this one isn't fair, but I'm going to go with Derrick Henry in this case. You know, Derrick Henry has an opportunity to rush for 2,000 yards this year. You know, you're talking about a Packers defense is giving over 4.5 yards per rush. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to bludgeon the Green Bay Packers defensively, so I'm going with Derrick Henry.
Okay, I like that. Let's actually think about that one a little bit more. When the Packers host Henry and the Titans on Sunday night, it is a meeting of probably the best running back in the league and a run defense that has been in the middle of the pack this year and has candidly been much maligned. Henry is the most rushing yards, tied for the most touchdowns. Packers defense, middle of the road. And again, a lot of people look at this as the weakness. And so I'm going to make this edition of Change My Mind. Here is the statement I'm going to make, and let's see if anyone wants to change my mind. If the Packers shut down Derrick Henry this weekend, then I will come in here Monday and I will say they, the Green Bay Packers, are the team to beat in the NFC. That is their ticket to the Super Bowl. It's the one thing they haven't been able to do. So, Louis Riddick, do you want to change my mind? If I say to you, if the Packers shut down Derrick Henry, they're on their way to the Super Bowl. You want to change my mind?
Yeah, because they're not going to shut down Derrick Henry. So I don't think I'm really going to have to address this. But nevertheless, yeah, you know what? Look, this is a football team. Look, Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator in Tennessee, absolutely knows exactly who they want to be offensively. And they know exactly how they want to attack you. And I'm not going to say that you automatically have to go back to the NFC Championship game a year ago and remember what Kyle Shanahan put on the Green Bay Packers as far as a running clinic. Because their running games are a little bit different, and their running backs are different as far as how they try to hit you, meaning San Francisco and Tennessee. But Derrick Henry, look, when you see that highlight right there, when you see him just take people, grown men, and throw them on the ground, look, I'm going to bet on him. I'm going to bet on how multiple this offense is in Tennessee, and I just don't think Green Bay has the firepower to deal with that right now. Although I will say this. Aaron has lifted the entire operation offensively and defensively because his effect on the entire football team is something that you can't question. And they are going to be, I believe, in the NFC Championship game for sure. But I just don't think that they have enough up front to deal with this Tennessee running game right now that is pretty much giving everybody fits.
That's the big question. To me as well. D. Wood, what do you think?
Well, I wouldn't want to be anybody on that field got to deal with that grown man and Derrick Henry. But listen, Aaron Rodgers to me is the MVP of the league right now, and Lewis just talked about Aaron Rodgers has elevated everyone with the within the Green Bay Packers organization on the field. His play has just been spectacular, and I think at minimum, I think Green Bay Packers are going to be in the NFC Championship game. Maybe the difference between the Packers getting to advancing further out, it has to be their defense, and I think this game against the Tennessee Titans and that rushing attack, I think will go a long way to determining whether the Green Bay Packers could end up in the Super Bowl down in Tampa.
Correct. It's literally exactly what I'm saying, which is if they are able to slow down the running game, and Derrick Henry is the best test you could possibly have of that, then they will show that they are the team to beat in the NFC. Schefter, you're nodding your head. What do you think?
Well, I think it's Week 16, and I think Green Bay is going to be the number one seed. And I think even if they don't slow down Derrick Henry, they're still fully and entirely capable of winning 2 games in January in Lambeau Field to go to the Super Bowl. So as much as we want to take Sunday night as an indication of whether this team is ready to make the next jump, the postseason is just different. Yes, it's a sign, it's a signal. You want to see that Green Bay is trending in the right direction and that its run defense is being shored up for the postseason in which it could face a player like Alvin Kamara. But the fact of the matter is, I think when we get to January, I just think it's a little different. You want to draw conclusions from Christmas to late January, and maybe there's something to read into it, but I'm not fully buying Greeny.
All right, we will see. I will be watching that game very closely, and we will see if that defense is able to rise up against that man who throws people around on the football field sometimes like they are small children. All right, next up, it's time for Neek.
Ready all night, tell him here I come. Ready all night, tell him here I come.
Look at me, handsome, fast, quick. Doesn't take much for me to, I'm modest, humble, Doesn't take much for me to be confident.
He has the dopest open of any of our analysts. It is time for Unique Perspective, which I think today may have been forced on him one way or the other, but we shall see. Dominique, the floor is yours.
Oh, it wasn't forced on me. I hope that in that Steelers players only meeting that they have today, that they go in there and they tell Juju, we want you to dance. Because as I said yesterday, I don't think him dancing on the opponent's logo impacts the game. I don't really buy into it as being some sort of motivating factor for the other team or some bulletin board material. But it's about a mentality. And we talk about, Mike Tomlin said, if you can't get 1 yard when you know they need 1 yard, then that's on you. This feels like the same thing to me. Like, why are you scared of waking up the opponent? I don't think they are. Wake up. That's fine. If you guys are awake, that's fine. We're still going to beat you. We are the big dogs. We are Santa, you're the elves. We're Beyonce, you're Destiny's Child. We will run through you because this is our house. Like, it bothers me to think that somehow maybe Juju is being pushed off of this because they're scared. I don't think that the Steelers are saying this. I hope they aren't saying this, but they're pushing Juju off of this because oh, you're going to wake up the opponents. That's a mentality that I can't accept. Wake up. We are not afraid of you. We don't care if you wake up. This is our house, our division. We own it. And whether you like dancing or not, it doesn't matter. Juju's your guy. Juju, if you like to dance before the game, you know what? Dance. If my dog Juju want to dance, he going to dance on your emblem. He going to dance in your end zone, dance wherever you want. On 4th and 1, we going to run through you. That's the mentality that I believe the Steelers tend to have. I think it's the mentality that they actually have in that locker room right now. So I hate the idea that somebody is going to be tipped. That's just not a football, at least not a defensive mindset. We're going to be tiptoeing around. Oh, we don't want to upset them. We don't want to give them bulletin board material. Let's not step on this paint because it's going to upset them. Maybe they'll beat us. I don't care. Come out. We don't play the game on a bulletin board. We play the game on the field. So shut up. Dance if you want to dance.
I love that one. Louis Riddick, you were there for what may now wind up being the last of the Juju dances for TikTok. What did you think?
Look, I know this because I'm going to speak for myself. Athletes are petty, man. Athletes use all kinds of things to get themselves motivated. I mean, we've seen the greatest athlete of all time, Michael Jordan, uses all kinds of slights, all kinds of perceived signs of disrespect to get them motivated. And it's not like all of a sudden, well, that was the ticket. That's why the Bengals won. But I can tell you this. Look, I know people think, well, this is college rah-rah stuff. No one cares about planting flags, dancing on logos and stuff. But I'll tell you this as a defensive player. When your whole game really is predicated on aggression and attacking, and I see people doing stuff like that, especially seeing wide receivers do stuff like that. I can tell you this, and Dominic knows this. As a defensive back, you mean to tell Von Bell said, if I can put a shot on number 19, I'm gonna look him up and I'm gonna put a shot on him. And in that game, as soon as he hit Juju Smith-Schuster, the whole sideline on Cincinnati erupted. Everybody's attitude went through the roof because he puts a target on himself by doing that. I don't care if it's high school, college, or professional. You know we're petty, and when we see stuff like that, we're going, bingo, I got something to settle, and I'm going to try and settle it. And that's what people are trying to do to him.
Go ahead, Nate.
I don't disagree with you, but my response is also a defensive mentality. So what? Get mad. We're going to beat you anyway. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that I want. When I was watching Monday Night Football, I was so happy that you were on there because I think Greasy said something about Mackenzie Alexander showboating, and Greasy was kind of being critical, and you kind of cleared it up, saying sometimes you get those penalties when you have that mindset. That's how I feel about this. Sometimes you got to have that mindset that we are going to dance on your emblem. We're going to do whatever we want because we are who we are, and I don't care if you're awake or if you're asleep or if you're not. If this upsets you, if this offends your sensibilities, this is my field, not the bulletin board. Let's do it.
Let me ask the man
Yeah,
who would
look,
dance
I
on the
get it. I
living
get it
room
from a
floor.
defensive
I have a
perspective
question.
for sure.
Go ahead, Schefter.
Has Juju been doing this every single game all year? He has, right?
For the most part, yes.
Okay. So why was this never an issue when they were 11-0? Why was nobody saying anything then? Why all of a sudden was he able to do it for
when it
11 weeks? And all of a sudden they lose, and now it's an issue that he's dancing on the logo.
What it
That
comes
is a-
down to, Schefter,
No,
is
I guess
it
that's
comes down to this. People don't like Juju dancing, or some people don't like the idea of guys having personality on social media, and they have seized upon this as an opportunity to be critical of it. Because you're right, they've won 11 games, they've lost 3. Maybe you could argue that the dancing helped them more than it hurt them. So some people don't like it as a concept, so they're like, hey, now we finally have opportunity to jump on Juju.
All right, let's leave it there for the moment. I will come back to this, I promise, because I think obviously everyone has a lot more to say. We'll continue. In the meantime, speaking of a little bit of going back.